This is the new Blackberry Kickstar 8220 that just got released on T-Mobile. This is the first flip phone from Blackberry. It's similar to the Pearl. They actually call it the Pearl Flip in some cases. But this is a first for Blackberry to come out with an external screen. It functions as a clock and gives you the battery and notifications when you get like a message. And they incorporated the flashing light they kept on the older Blackberries and put it into the flash next to the camera. You can use the flash for video functions as well, which is a new function in the Blackberry. Camera is pretty decent. It's 2 megapixels, especially with the flash on. It does pretty well. On the outside of the phone there is a micro USB port, 3.5mm jack, a mute button. At the bottom you have your speakers, which are pretty loud but can be easily covered up by hands or fingers. On the right side there's a soft key button, there's the micro SD slot, and then some volume buttons as well. Forgot to mention there's also a another key on the left side of the phone. On the top there's the silver part of the hinge. On the back you got the Blackberry logo, T-Mobile, and these are the charging connections for a base that you can get and set the phone into and have it charge. On the inside of the phone you'll see there's a big keyboard, quite larger than the Pearl. The keys are pretty much the same as far as what the characters are on each key, but the keys are probably about 2 times as big as what they were on the Pearl 8100. The bottom there is just a little rubber for the screen when it closes, microphone down there, and then the trackball that's famous from the Blackberries. When you hold it sideways you can almost see the trackball, but generally they try to keep it recessed as much as they can, so when you close the screen it doesn't make any marks on the screen or damage that. The inside screen is really great, colorful, bright, pretty responsive. You got your usual outside shortcuts and stuff, and then you can dive into the main menu by the Blackberry key down there. Once you get inside there you'll see quite a few icons. It's pretty much organized by messaging, calls, calendars, your web browser, camera, clock, music, and media functions. You got your settings, downloads folder, games, applications, and such. And then you've got instant messaging clients from Blackberry, AIM, Google, Yahoo, and Windows Live. Those should all work over the Edge as well as the Wi-Fi, which is another feature this phone comes with. Comes with Wi-Fi from T-Mobile hotspot, but you can also use it on another network and just use the Wi-Fi. Certain applications won't work with just Wi-Fi only, but most of them will. As far as the software of the phone goes, it's fairly good. The keyboard is really nice to type on. It takes a little bit to get used to, coming from the old Pearl or one of the other Blackberries with a single letter, single key. But once you get used to it, it's very spacious and there's a lot to use, and it's very wide. But one thing to note is actually the width of this is the same width as the 8100 Pearl, or the 8100 series in general. So typing on the phone is fairly easy. There's somewhat of a lag in this, but with other updates to the software through T-Mobile and Blackberry. They've done pretty good with fixing a lot of the bugs and laggy firmware. Right now, I believe this is running the 180. It's 4.6.0.180. I don't know, not sure if that's readable, but that is the newest software from T-Mobile. And then it's the Java and your nuance voice, I believe. Typical stuff here in the menu, or the options rather. There's a neat feature with the Wi-Fi. You can actually use a lot of the typical stuff you'd find on a computer, like DNS lookup and ping, site survey, and do diagnostics straight from the Wi-Fi, and it'll tell you your IP and all the other information that you might need. The phone is really neat. It's the first flip, like I said, from Blackberry. They did a decent job with it. The hinge is pretty solid, and that would be something someone could be concerned about as far as the hinge quality. But overall, the phone is very good. It's typical of the Blackberry functions, and it's not too bulky. But here's a comparison of it next to the iPhone 1st gen. It's pretty much the same level as far as the thickness goes when the screen's open. But when you close the Blackberry flip, that's when you can see the difference. It's quite a bit thicker than most of the Blackberries out there, but that's of course because of the two screens and everything else that's inside of it. This flip does not have a 3G radio, but as far as the edge goes and the Wi-Fi, you're pretty good. The phone is overall very good. They just need to update some of the software